Hi, Rahshal with Lady Fermenter. Today I'm going to share the process that I use when designing a beer recipe. Now you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to share a tip that may help you recreate your favorite commercial beer quicker. Now, before we get started, I need to lay down a disclaimer. This may take me, you, us a few tries. It could take us 5, 10, 15, 25 or more attempts to get the beer that we're trying to create. And the reason for that is once we do our first beer, and if it's not exactly how we want it, we're going to change only one thing and then brew it again. So maybe it's the water profile, maybe it's the grain, maybe it's the hops we use or the yeast. But we're going to only make one change, and then of course we're going to take great notes and taste it and see how that change impacted our beer. Now, here's what you'll need to try this process. I always like to say start with the end in mind. And for this video, I think it would be best if we used a commercial beer. So we are going to use, or I'm going to use this beer. This is a Belgian triple, so I'm going to try to create a recipe that replicates this beer. 2, you will need access to the World Wide Web, whether it be on your phone, tablet, computer. If you don't have any of those items, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the US, many of the libraries have computers that you're able to use. If not, I'm going to have to borrow from a friend. Okay, let's get started. Okay, the first thing I like to do is check the packaging. All right, I can see here that this beer is bottle conditioned. There's the website. Hopefully you can see that. And then there's also a QR code. So let's go to the website. All right, so here we have the beer. We have the triple. Tells us what it should look like. Herbal aroma, complex flavors. Tells us our ABV, 9.5. Original gravity, 1080. So that's what we can shoot for. IBUs are 37. And here are the ingredients. Water, barley, malt, candied sugar, hops, and yeast. Tells us a little bit about the history. And then it gives us some serving information. Next place I'd like to go is to the BJCP, which is Beer Judging Certification Program. And I'll link this down below. So this is free information for you. And all I did was bring up the beer style, and it's a Belgian triple. Let's see what we can find in here regarding a Belgian triple. Now, it may not be this particular beer, but it'll be a range of attributes for Belgian triples. So this tells us it's a strong, pale, somewhat spicy Belgian ale, quite aromatic, spicy, fruity, light alcohol notes, supportive, clean malt character, drinkable, high alcohol content. Tells us where our color should be, somewhere between deep yellow to pale amber, good clarity, effervescent, long-lasting, creamy, rocky, white head resulting in characteristic Belgian lace on the glass as it fades. So we need good head retention. Aroma, complex but seamless bouquet of moderate to significant spiciness, moderate fruity esters, low alcohol, low hops, and light malt. Generous, spicy, peppery, sometimes clove-like phenols. Esters often reminiscent of citrus fruit like oranges and lemons, but may sometimes have a slight ripe banana character. Low yet distinctive spicy floral, sometimes perfumey hop character is optional. Alcohols are soft, spicy, and low in intensity. Now this is aroma. Malt character is light and soft, slightly grainy sweet, or slightly honey-like impression. All right, so these are now reported. Here's the flavor, which it's the same descriptors as in the aroma. Mouthfeel should be medium light to medium body. So I just read through all of this information. I'm just reading through and trying to get an idea of how I should brew this beer. Now, look what happens when we get down to characteristic ingredients. Pilsen malt, often pale sugar adjuncts. Continental hops, spicy fruity Belgian yeast. They're basically giving us the recipes. Okay, go down here, we can see the stats. So here is the range for bitterness, color, original gravity, final gravity, and your alcohol by volume. And if we go down here a little bit, we'll see commercial examples of a Belgian triple. And lo and behold, the last one on the list is our West Malt triple that we're trying to replicate. Okay, now we need to do a little research as to what our base malt will be. So just go to your supplier, or if you have a local maltster that you can purchase from, go to their website and just start doing a little research. Now, we know the base malt's going to be a Pilsen malt. That's really easy. So we're looking for a Pilsen malt that's clean and sweet. So this one would work, this right here, and so with this one has a little bit notes of bread cracker and honey. Let's take a look at RAR Malting Company. They have a North Star Pils. Now this one, compared to RAR Premium, North Star Pils is a bit lower in both color and modification in terms of sensory. It has more sweet attributes versus the more grainy and cracker attributes found in RAR Premium. So our flavor is right here. It brings out overtones of honey and sweet bread with supporting flavor and aroma notes of hay and nutty character. I kind of like that option. Now the easy way out is to pick a Belgian Pilsner. It's a Belgian beer. If they're using a Pilsner, they're probably using a Belgian Pilsner. And so what do we see about this one? Pale color, low in protein, remarkably clean and light finished product. Perfect. Now, one thing that I would like to think about is that Belgian lace. I want to make sure that I've got enough body in that beer for good head retention. So this is an option. Carapils Copper. It's a dark dextrin malt, and you can see that depending upon the percentage, we'll get a little color from this as well. The other one is just like a German Carafoam or any dextrin malt, where we're going to get body and foam stability. That's what we're looking for. Okay, or at least that's what I'm looking for to add to this beer. And it's even recommended for Pilsners and Pale Lagers. Okay, now, yeast. In my mind, it only makes sense to use a Belgian yeast. Now, Fermentis, I like Fermentis yeast. It's a dry yeast and it's super easy to use. So this is their BE256. So this is their yeast for Belgian type beers, such as Abbey style. Known for its fruitiness and high alcohol content, it ferments very fast and reveals strong fermentation aromas, which is exactly what we want. So this is the yeast that I'm going to pick. We do have a little nugget of information right here that if I do use this yeast, once it's done fermenting, it's telling me to get the beer off the yeast quickly. So I'll do that. And so you can just read through any additional information regarding this yeast. I like it. It ferments nice and warm, so I can just keep it at room temperature. All right. Now, I did say to you that I would give you a little nugget of information that'll help you get to your goals quicker if you're going after a commercial beer, if you want to recreate a commercial beer. And my tip for you is to go check the brewery's website. This is Great Lakes Brewing Company. And this is their beer, Edmund Fitzgerald. It's a porter. And would you look at this? So it gives us some information about its flavor profile, a little bit. And check this out. It tells us the ABV, the IBUs, they're telling us what hops they used, what malts they used. So this would be very easy to go to any other recipe website, pull up a porter, and then just get your percentages for these malts, and you will probably get pretty darn close, if not exact, by just going to the brewery's website. A lot of these professional brewers are former home brewers, and they share information freely. I've seen all the ingredients on the actual can of beer, where it's telling you what they used for a malt, all the different hops they used. So this is a really big tip if you want to replicate a beer that you love and maybe you can't get in your area, but you had it on vacation or somebody gave you one. This is a great way to see if you can really dial in your recipe just by using the brewery's website. So now that we've done our research, we're going to be going into a brewing software, and I'm going to be using Beersmith today. And so we need to do a couple things before we get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the style. So this lines up with the BJCP style guide that I showed you earlier. And that was beer 26C Belgian Triple. So we're going to select that. And then we're going to go ahead and go to our equipment. Now you have all these options in Beersmith for your equipment. I'm going with Grainfather. And why I received that warning is because it was listed as I had it listed as a type of brew would be all or extract. In this case, I'm not doing extract, I'm doing all grain because we have many more options in grain than we do in DME, dried malt extract, or LME, liquid malt extract. All right, so building a Belgian triple. Oops. And I'm going to say Westmalle so that I remember that this is what I'm trying to create. And of course, I'm the brewer. And I'm going to take a look at, I do a 6-gallon batch. I do that on purpose so that I get enough beer to fill a keg. And then I'm going to start adding our fermentables. Now, for me, our research showed that there's some honey character and that we're going to use a Pilsner. So it's just easy to go to Pilsner, and then I'm going to use this one because I like the honey character that this malt will give me. Now in Beersmith, there's lots of ways to change quantities of your fermentables or ingredients. I'm going to go with 14.5 pounds. This is not correct. This is probably more like $2 a pound or less. Then I'm going to add, now one of the things was Belgian lace. So I want to make sure that I have good head retention. So I'm going to add dextrin. And I only need, I'd say, half a pound. Now, we know that they used candy sugars or syrups. I'm not going to do that because I've tested that out. And for me, table sugar will work just fine. 1 pound is enough. Now I'm going to add my hops. Now I'm going to be using Magnum because I absolutely love the clean bitterness that you get from Magnum. And in this case, when you're using the software, you can enter the amount. You can go ahead and enter whatever the alpha is on that particular package. It's a good idea to do that. And here's where you can change how long it's going to be in the boil. Now for the other hop I'm going to add is Saaz, Czech Saaz hops. because I like the flavor profile that gives. It should give some spiciness and also some fruitiness. And when I listened to the video for that beer, they said that they received the citrus bitterness from, or the citrusy notes from the hops and from the yeast. So now for the Saaz, I'm going to just do half an ounce, which is 14 grams. And I'm also going to change this to 15 minutes. All right, so how's that looking? Yeah. So this is kind of helpful. See how it gives us some information about the Saaz hop, tells us a little bit about it, and gives us substitutions in case we do not have it when we go to brew. All right, now the next thing, and as you can see, look down here, these slides are changing. Our goal is to go green. So these slides are changing as we're adding ingredients. All right, now let's go ahead. What have I not added? I've not added the yeast. I'm going to be using 256. Let's see if that comes up, and it does beautifully. All right, so it looks like I'm doing pretty good. I'm surprised that this is on the low side, and so is my color. All right, let me see if we can find something to add a little bit of color. All right, I do like this copper carapels. And there too, I think I just want to do a half a pound. All right, now how are we? So we're good for gravity. We're within the range. We're good for IBUs. We're good for color. And we're good for estimated alcohol by volume. Now I'm going to come down here. Now this beer is bottle conditioned. I am not going to do that. I'm going to change this to keggy. I'm going to keg, and I'm not going to bottle condition. And then I'm going to change this to only a single stage brew. All right, my numbers still look good. So I think we're good. I think this is a good enough recipe for me to test out. Okay, well, I guess I should go try to brew this recipe. Now, special thanks goes to one of our subscribers, Gary. Gary suggested that I do a video on recipe design. So Gary, I hope you liked it. If not, let me know. And to all our subscribers who keep reminding me to say these things, if you would please like, subscribe, share, comment. Let us know how you like this video. Let us know if you're into recipe designing, or if you've had any success or any failures, or if you found any tips that might work. But liking, subscribing, sharing, clicking that bell so that you get notified when we release a new video, those things are all free for you to do, and they really, really, really help our channel. So thank you in advance, and thanks a pint for watching.